Hello, 6 o'clock. Good morning and welcome to the Class Breakfast News. The news is live on Class 91.3 FM in Accra, Ho FM 92.5 in the Volta region, Nagban FM 102.5 in Tamale, Radio 192.1 in the Upper West region, Radio Power 96 in Spain. Around the world, join us on classfmonline.com. Coming up, Wuntumi's lawyer Andy Appiah Kubi withdraws from a quantum mining case over court concerns.
The reasons why I'm withdrawing my services from this process is stated in our affidavit in support of the motion. And I must say that I'm disappointed with decisions of the court. And I'm disappointed with the attitude of the court. When I withdraw my services, it is at liberty to engage another.
The Speaker of Parliament clarifies anti-LGBTQ bill could be considered despite being approved by the House. The concerned party, faithful of MPP Ntama, demands suspension of an ongoing electoral process.
Oversight. We further call for the reassessment of the role of the regional representative, Jeff Kasim, whose neutrality is in question due to his reported involvement in
Also, Member of Parliament for Tolon calls for probe into award scheme over alleged payment for honest.
Mr. Speaker, if you can kindly direct that we should set up a committee to investigate. Mr. Speaker, to investigate. Mr. Speaker, we should.
Coming up in African news, deadly Sudan drone strike targets funeral processions. These plus many other stories coming your way shortly.
Class 91.3 FM.
This is the Class Breakfast News.
I am Elizabeth Adrian. Welcome to Class 91.3 FM. Let's settle for the details of the news. Now, private lawyer Andy Appiah Kubi, counsel for the Ashanti Regional Chairman Bosiako, known as Wontumi, has withdrawn from representing him in the ongoing Akontam mining criminal case. His withdrawal comes at a time when the chairman Wontumi is reported to have initiated steps towards a plea bargain in the alleged Exim Bank fraud case. The Office of the Attorney General had already informed the Accra High Court that the accused, through his legal team, has begun discussions aimed at reaching an agreement under the plea bargain framework. And the Appiah Kubi, who is the lawyer, says his decision was influenced by deep concerns about how the proceedings have been conducted so far. He cited dissatisfaction with what he described as court handling of the matter, including its records of proceedings and certain determinations made during the trial process. According to him, these issues affected his confidence in continuing with the defense, prompting his withdrawal from the case.
The reasons why I'm withdrawing my services from this process is stated in our affidavit in support of the motion. And I must say that I'm disappointed with decisions of the court. And I'm disappointed with the attitude of the court. When I withdraw my services, he is at liberty to engage another counsel. He is at liberty to do his case by himself. And he is at liberty to even apply to government for support by way of legal aid. So I'm sure he will take a decision when we get there. I'm not happy with, particularly when I have made application for the court to order the prosecution to provide me with copies of the alleged assignment. Instead of the court making the order, the court dismissed my application. I expected the court to make that order for the prosecution to come and say that this is a copy of the assignment, or I don't have it at all, for her to come to a conclusion that there is no assignment. So that conclusive position we have is based on presumptions that since they could not provide the assignment, there is a presumption that it doesn't exist. But I expected the court to make the order directed at the prosecution to provide that assignment, or come to the court and say that there is no such assignment. For the court to record that there is no such assignment, and that brings finality to the charges on assignment. I think the court is getting personal with me as counsel, and therefore my absence may warrant an engagement of a new counsel. And probably the new counsel probably will be able to freely interact with the court.
That's the lawyer for the Ashanti Regional Chairman for the New Patriotic Party, Andy Appiah Kubi, stating the reason for his withdrawal from the Akontam mining case. Now, private legal practitioner Tete explains that while plea bargaining is a recognized legal process that could help resolve criminal cases and facilitate recovery of funds, it does not guarantee immunity from jail. He stressed that the court still retain the discretion to impose a custodial sentence depending on the terms of the agreement and the gravity of the offenses involved.
The point is that plea bargaining doesn't mean that you will not go to jail. It means that perhaps your sentencing may be reduced. So it doesn't mean that at all costs you will not go to jail. You are likely to still go to jail, but your sentencing will reduce, or you may be fined. And so it's not a way to encourage people to engage in corruption, because you cannot be sure that after returning the money you would be free. And that is not the intention behind the plea bargaining. The plea bargaining is to also ask for reduction of sentence. I mean, if indeed you know you are guilty, of course you are going to go to jail, but you are asking for reduction of sentence because you already returned the money, and you are supposed to go to jail for 20 years and it's reduced to 5 years. I mean, it's better than actually rotting in jail for 20 years when you could have just returned the money, so that in the next 5 years or so you'll be reduced. So the intention is at least you know that you are likely to go to jail, or you are likely to be convicted. Let me use that word. You are likely to be convicted. Your conviction doesn't mean you are going to jail, but you are likely to be convicted. But you are looking at the gravity of your conviction. And if you are ready to return monies you have stolen, or you are ready to account and make sure the money that have, whatever you have done that has caused financial loss to the people.
Meanwhile, Chief Crusader of Crusaders Against Corruption, Emmanuel Wilson, is cautioning that plea bargaining must be carefully managed to avoid becoming a loophole for corruption cases.
So if there's no punishment, plea bargaining will rather end up becoming an avenue where people would deliberately want to engage in corrupt practices, knowing very well that big profits, and when they are caught, they will just come and pay some money in the name of interest, and they'll just go scot-free.
Should we? I've heard many say that we should change the law.
That we don't have to change the laws, neither do we have to discourage. What we should rather do is to vary the law or amend the law in such a way that plea bargaining shouldn't be an absolute solution.
Thus, Chief Crusader of Crusaders Against Corruption, Emmanuel Wilson, in an interview with my colleague Kwame Ochijini on 505 yesterday. Now, the Human Sexual Rights and Family Value Bill 2025, known as the Anti-LGBTQ+ Bill, could still return to the floor of Parliament despite its passage, according to the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Gbagben, who says members of Parliament can initiate a process to review the legislation under the House Standing Orders. His remark comes in the wake of Parliament's approval of the legislation, a development that has prompted renewed calls for some quarters for further reflection on its provision. Speaking during a courtesy visit by members of the Supreme Court 150th Anniversary Planning Committee yesterday, Alban Gbagben explained that Parliament's rule allows lawmakers to introduce a motion seeking to reverse or consider a previous decision of the House.
My recent comments about the bill that was passed recently as reference of fairness, but I still hold my view. A recent debate where some lawyers came out strongly to say that by the Constitution, once a law is passed on the floor, Parliament is functus officio. It's not the law, because we have what we call passage process before you send it to the President for assent. And that is why in the Constitution there's no time limit given to Parliament after passage to submit to the President for assent. And on many occasions, we usually identify some inconsistencies or some errors, and then we go back to the House, where they refer to as second reconsideration stage. You use the process called rescission, a motion of rescission to rescind the decision of having read the bill third time, and then use that to do it. In fact, we are very soon going to use it in connection with the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority Bill, which was passed in March. And so we have that process of self-regulation or self-correction. So it's really not the law that once Speaker presiding says the bill is read the third time and passed, Parliament is functus officio.
That's the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Gbagwin. The Member of Parliament for Tolon Habib Idrisu is calling for a bipartisan parliamentary committee to investigate a controversial award scheme amid allegations that some government ministers paid to receive honours. The call follows growing public concerns over the credibility of the award ceremony after claims emerged that some participants and recipients may have paid for recognition. Responding to the proposal on the floor of Parliament, the Speaker expressed support for an investigation but urged the minority to follow the appropriate parliamentary procedures in seeking the formation of the committee. Let's listen to the Member of Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to appeal to your good office because, you see, listening to the issue I raised and the contribution and the response from the minister in charge of government communication, he did admit that government have issued a statement to this matter. It's a serious issue. Mr. Speaker, if you can kindly direct that we should set up a committee to investigate. Mr. Speaker, to investigate. Mr. Speaker, we should... Mr. Speaker, a bipartisan committee to investigate this matter and see the criteria for the award. Mr. Speaker, we deserve to know the truth. We deserve to know the truth. So let's set up a committee to investigate it, see the criteria, see who have paid and who have not been able to pay, and then we can move on from there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You know what to do if you want Parliament to take action on this matter. When you come properly, we'll definitely take the action. With this, we'll leave it at this stage.
That's the Member of Parliament for Tolon Habib Idrisu and the Speaker of Parliament Alban Sumana Kensford Gbagwin, respectively. Now, the Institute for Energy Security, IES, has described the findings and recommendations from investigations into the recent fire outbreak at the Akosombo switchyard as a major step towards strengthening Ghana's energy security and improving the reliability of power supply. The committee set up to investigate the Akosombo dam fire, which occurred on April 23, attributed the incident to installation failure, resulting in the loss of about 1,000 megawatts of power to the national grid. Speaking to the Class News, the Director of Research at the Institute for Energy, Prosper Smith, called for a more resilient energy system capable of quickly recovering from and adapting to disruptions.
An important development, and it is this recommendation and this report is obviously a call in the right direction as far as the energy security and supply of power is concerned. And so we all recall that there was a fire outbreak, a significant one, adopt a resilience mode when there is a disruption in the system. And so some of the things that IES will look to recommend is that the new structure should be able to have robustness in it. When I say robustness, I'm talking about how the structure will be able to suppress fire outbreak. So in that the infrastructure is hardened enough to suppress some fire outbreaks.
Thus, the Director of Research at the Institute for Energy Security, Prosper Smith, now concerned aspirants and party faithfuls of the New Patriotic Party in the Tema East constituency are demanding the suspension of ongoing electoral area coordinators' elections, citing alleged irregularities in the polling station album. Speaking on behalf of the group, Ernest Perry alleged that the album contained questionable entries and omissions, and that could undermine the credibility of the electoral process. The group is calling for a thorough review of the album, the appointment of a neutral official to oversee the exercise, and investigations into claims of intimidation ahead of the polls.
Irregularity. Ahead of the upcoming electoral area, a chairperson role in the Ashiboy electoral area. This development disenfranchises party members who could have legitimately occupy the position and raise serious questions about impartiality. As a former member of parliament and minister, he is expected to act in neutral capacity. However, his involvement has deepened division and heightened tensions within the constituency.
Thus, Ernest Perry, who was speaking on behalf of the concerned aspirant and party faithfuls of the New Patriotic Party in Tema East constituency. Before I leave, let's do some African news, because a drone strike on the funeral procession at a ceremony in Sudan City has killed at least 4 people and left several others injured, according to two rights groups. Both organizations have blamed the Rapid Support Forces for the attack. The emergency lawyers said the strike was part of a series of drone attacks that began on Wednesday evening, which have reportedly killed at least 23 people in total. We are following this development and we'll bring you more details on that right here on Class 91.3 FM. For now, that ends the Class Breakfast News with me, Elizabeth Edu. For more news and update, do log on to classfmonline.com. The morning show continues with Kwame Jumo Ajiman and the team. Do stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. Good morning.
because Mexico also had one sending off late in the game. The game still finished 2-0 in favor of the host. And then, of course, later on, after a few hours, it was South Korea who got off to a great start, coming back from a goal to defeat their European counterparts by 2-1. So just in case you missed out on the action last night, 2 games already down. Remember, it will be 104 matches that are going to be played at this year's World Cup. So done with 102 more to go. Let me just quickly keep you up to speed with the games that are coming up today at the World Cup. And obviously, because of the time difference, it might just be a little difficult to catch up with all the games. But if you love football, you still find a way. Later at 7 p.m. today, it's going to be Canada who will be playing against Bosnia-Herzegovina. And then right after, we're going to be seeing the United States play against Paraguay. And that will mean that all the 3 host nations would have been in action in the last 48 hours. So we'll be looking out for that Canada playing against Bosnia at 19 hours GMT this evening, Ghana time, of course. And then the United States will be playing against Paraguay. But take out a look at the time that the United States are going to be playing against Paraguay. That game will be on at 1 a.m. going into Saturday. Yeah, so take note of that, 1 a.m. If you have some time, today being a Friday, and you probably stay up and enjoy the teams in action, then you get to see the United States play against Paraguay. So these are the games to look forward to as far as the World Cup is concerned. And talk of the World Cup, the senior national team, the Black Stars, are in the news because in the last couple of hours they have arrived at their training base in the United States. Remember, in the last few days, they had been preparing elsewhere, but now they have found themselves at their training base in Providence in Rhode Island for the final phase of preparations ahead of the 2026 World Cup campaign. The team departed Virginia on Thursday afternoon and touched down at the T.F. Green International Airport in Rhode Island at 6 p.m. Head coach Carlos Queiroz and the squad would resume training on Friday, thus this morning, as they fine-tune preparations for their opening Group L game against Panama. The Black Stars wrapped up a week-long campaign in Washington before their following their friendly international against Wales a couple of days ago. The camp in Virginia included intensive sessions at the American University and DC United training ground and a farewell dinner with the Ghanaian community in Alexandria. Ghana now enters the final stretch of preparation in Providence before heading to Toronto for June the 17th opener against Panama. The Black Stars would also face England in Boston on June the 23rd and Croatia in Philadelphia 4 days later on June the 27th. Queiroz's 26-man squad features captain Jordan Ayew, Thomas Partey, Inaki Williams, Antoine Semenyo, and goalkeeper Lawrence Atizigi, who is set for his second World Cup campaign. So all 26 we know are there together with a large army of coaching staff, but for many a Ghanaian, it will be all about how the team will perform on match days, and hopefully we would put up in the performances starting from match day 1 when we play against Panama. We still stay with issues concerning the World Cup and into the camp of the senior national team proper and get to hear from goalkeeper Atizigi ahead of that first game against Panama. He's been talking up the need for the team to have a winning mentality going into action on match day 1.
It's been a great experience. You could see all the guys are very ready and we train very well. We're giving our best, and yeah, we're looking forward to this moment. He's a very experienced coach. He's got a lot of information, so yeah, you just have to take the good information he gives out and yeah, try to make use of it. The expectation is just a teamwork. We're going to fight till the end. We're going to give it all, and we hope that we're going to make Ghanaians proud. Yeah, I think it's really a good team. We all together, we fight for each other, and yeah, you can see that there is really positive vibes each and every time, and this is what we like, and this is what we want. We want to keep on with this. We want to take this positive energy into the games, and we hope that we can make a very good World Cup. As a kid, everyone dreams to play in this big platform, and for me it's actually a big dream because yeah, you get to face big players. You get to have a nice atmosphere, a lot of people in stadium, the support, the love, and yeah, it's really a good experience for me, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think there has to be the dedication for the game. They have to have the positive mindset because it gets to some point when it's not going well, I think that's when we need this mentality, the winning mentality, and the winning spirit. So I think they just need this and to help the team achieve better goals.
That was Ghana goalkeeper Lawrence Atizigi there, and he's also been talking up team spirit ahead of that opening day clash.
So, there is a good team spirit, and this shows that everyone is ready and everyone is looking forward because, like I said, it's a dream, so everyone is ready to live it. The strength is fighting for each other and being there as a team, like playing as a team and not just playing as like an individual player, but then the strength is you could see everyone is fighting for each other. We support each other and yeah, we help each other by encouraging the young ones to keep going and to always give their best. These are moments that happens in football where you have bad moments and yeah, you sometimes don't qualify. But for us, the biggest moment is now. We put whatever thing that has happened behind us and we try to focus on this World Cup and hopefully yeah, we can make very good use of it. For me, it's not a matter about the names. It's everything depends on us. We focus on ourselves, and like you said, we're giving ourselves good energy. We train well, and this is what we are really focused on. So we're just going to take game for game, and yeah, hopefully we analyze it and see how it goes. Yeah, we know it hasn't been easy in the past days, but. Yeah, we're just going to give all, and we ask him for their support, their prayers, like always. And yeah, they should also stay positive, and yeah, hopefully we're going to make them proud.
Well, one of three goalkeepers of the senior national team, Lawrence Atizigi, there. We wish the team the best of luck as they prepare to go into action on the 17th of June when they play against Caribbean side Panama. At this point, we're still not too certain whether he's going to be first choice on the back of what transpired in Qatar 2022 or goalkeeper Benjamin Asare will be getting his opportunity. Talk of the senior national team, former skipper of the Stars, Stephen Appiah, has also been weighing on the possible performance of the team in North America. The Black Stars will not be with the presence of star player Mohamed Kudus as a result of injury. The former skipper believes the player will be missed, but also touches base on the fact that the squad is still blessed with a number of key performers who could stand up and be counted on match days.
The contribution anyway, but I always say, yeah, even if let me put it, our time, no, if Michael Essien is not there, no, we play. If Stephen Appiah is not there, if Asamoah Gyan is not there, so I think we should carry on this level of belief says or being new how be better to me represented by. I mean, all the same, no, Kudus is Kudus. So we more needing any the way or burning ball. No, to me, sort of way high way percentage Emma Black Stars. No, yeah, now you're born by a better because you say me sure players no, they are more ball. I'm no, say me sure more performance is not there. You know, I think yeah, me feel good. I mean, most of the players, so me from me no more born come and they can't wait to get to this Mundial to perform and show whatever they can do. So yeah, Miniaji said they know Ben, and I hope say with Ghanaians with the support, no, but it's not yet ready. Say I mean on be making it in way.
Those are former skipper of the Black Stars are 7 up here there, and hopefully the lads will translate all of that into performances starting with match day 1. And talk of seeing the games and talk of the Black Stars being in action, the permanent mission of Ghana to the United Nations in New York has announced that official ticket allocations for the upcoming FIFA World Cup games have not been received yet. The statement issued on June 9, 2026 by Nuong Falong, Head of Information and Public Affairs, comes in response to the surge of inquiries from the public. According to the statement, the mission has received numerous calls and queries from Guineans, particularly those residing within the diaspora in the United States. The influx of interest follows recent comments regarding FIFA World Cup tickets made by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama during a visit to the United Kingdom. The mission assured the public that it is actively collaborating with the national authorities in Accra to address the ticket situation. So for those of you who live in the United States, for those of you who live in Canada, and for those of you who live even Mexico. Maybe at some point, if the Black Stars would have to play a game in there. On the back of the comments that were made by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama a couple of days ago, they have since gone on to say that they haven't received their tickets yet, and as and when they get their tickets, I'm sure they'll be informing the number of Ghanaians who live in there. But away from that, there's also a bit of a confusion concerning who is going to be there to support the Black Stars. There's been talk that some politicians are trying to get themselves in the fray. First Deputy Minority Speaker in Parliament, the Honorable Habib Idrisu, made some very, very strong allegations on the floor of Parliament.
The players are already in. They've already gone for the World Cup, and we have not been briefed. And you think that this is a matter we must not know? We are aware that government have procured 1,000 tickets from GFA. We are aware, and the ambassador have issued a statement saying that Ghanaians in the diaspora should write their names and get tickets for the matches. Who bought the tickets? How much is it costing the taxpayers? Over 2,000 people went to American embassy for visas.
So,
visa fee 185. Who is paying it?
You
Who
think
are those
what
people?
you are doing is a tool available for you?
I preempted him. I told him. We are aware that the majority side, you were given two slots each for the World Cup. And then that one, nothing happened. They've been denying visas. Your members, they are not happy because they didn't even call some of their nominees.
Yes.
At Botema, they are screaming them there. I have pictures, I have videos. So if you say we shouldn't discuss it, we shouldn't discuss it. That I will respect. But to say what I'm saying should be expunged, on what basis should that be expunged?
Well, this has since been debunked by the Member of Parliament for Ketu North, the Honorable Edem Agbana.
I must say that the statement he made on the floor yesterday about the sports ministry or government allocating slots to members of parliament from the NDC, that statement is not true. It's a blatant falsehood. Now, I think that it is important for us to appreciate this conversation from the context. Government earlier announced that no public funds will be spent to airlift supporters to the World Cup. However, government engaged in a fundraising exercise, and if you recall, private individuals and organizations donated towards that exercise. What it means is that any Ghanaian that you may see at the World Cup may be part of people being sponsored privately and not from public funds.
Well, I guess some would argue that the most important thing would be to see as many Ghanaians in the stadium on match days, like with the sea in Qatar in 2022, where there were thousands of them who went in to support the Black Stars. Let's still wrap up with issues concerning the World Cup, which has been on the lips of many following the decision by the authorities in the United States to deny Somalian referee Atan a place at the Mundial. The 34-year-old was not given an opportunity to enter the United States after arriving in Miami. The U.S. authorities issuing a statement that the Somalian ref allegedly belonged to or had close ties with a terrorist organization. FIFA boss Gianni Infantino has been speaking to the subject.
We don't control everything. We try, we will discuss, we will speak, we will see. Maybe sometimes it's good as well to just, chill, relax. We work on everything. We try to solve everything. Sometimes to immediately start screaming and shouting has the opposite effect of finding a solution. Believe me when I tell you, or don't believe me if you don't want, but we try always to find solutions. Always. But then we need to respect that we are not the kings of the world who can rule over governments and police forces and I don't know what. We are a sports organization. We try to do our best with the means that we have to make as much as possible. And in this, and I conclude, we want to unite the world. And if I can ask you one thing, again, if you want to criticize me, it's fine, it's okay. But promote the unity of the World Cup.
That was our FIFA boss, Gianni Infantino there. That's what everyone would love to do, promote, all the fronts concerning the World Cup. Remember, almost a quarter of the countries on this planet are in the United States, Canada, or Mexico to be a part of this year's World Cup. 48 countries are going to be playing at the World Cup for the very first time. A massive jump from 32, 16 more added for this. That would mean that there will be another layer, which is a round of 32 before you get to a round of 16, before you get to a quarterfinal. So if you have to go all the way to win the World Cup, you would have to play 8 matches within a period of 5 weeks. We wish the teams the best of luck as they go into action. Remember, 2 games were played yesterday. The host Mexico getting a result against South Africa. That game finishing 2 goals to 0 in favor of the host team, and they will be happy to have started the competition with a bang. Quinones scoring the opening goal for the host team after only 9 minutes before Raul Jimenez also scored a goal. But the game would also be remembered for the sending offs. I don't recall the last time I watched a World Cup opening game and there were up to 3 red cards. Sitole was sent off together with Themba Zwane for the South Africans in the 49th and 84th minute. In the case of Themba Zwane, he had only been introduced as a sub and he was still sent off before Carlos Montes was sent off in the 92nd minute. Later today, though, we'll be looking forward to seeing one of the other host nations also in action. We hope to see the Canadians play against Bosnia-Herzegovina. That game will be on at 19 hours GMT. And then early into Saturday morning, one of the final hosts, that's the United States, they will be playing against Paraguay. We wish all the teams the best of luck as they go into action. Looking forward to another 5 weeks of action, and it was only a start yesterday. And this one, of course, I stayed up to watch a bit of the game between Czech Republic and South Korea, and that's what we're going to be doing. I mean, some of the games are going to be played at 11, 12 midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. sometimes. So if you're following any particular team, be prepared to do the do. I know it's going to be tough for many, especially if you have to go to work a couple of hours later, but we'll still find a way and see whether we can do this. Thus, as a Class Morning Show.